in the 3D plane. You know what? I'm gonna capitalize that. You have Earth. And then you have Matrix. Earth is a natural plane of existence, you know, material plane, planes of matter, a plane of matter. On this earth, we have organisms. These organisms are going to exist. Earth is going to continue to exist. Doesn't matter if there is humans here or not. So with Earth, it goes through a 4-season cycle. We're not going to involve months, days, years. This is all a correlation of time. That's the matrix. Gender roles. It's the matrix. Labor is the matrix. Holidays to correspond with the 4 seasons is the matrix. Okay? Life, rebirth, destruction. All this is gonna happen regardless whether we're here on earth or not. But we resonate with the frequency of earth, and when it goes through its own 4-season cycle, we also go through our own 4-season cycle. Winter is the time for depression, right? Everything blooms in the spring. Everything blossoms, spring and summer. Fall, all things that are no good fall. So we resonate with Earth through frequency. Whatever frequency Earth is on, we on it. That's why when it comes to manifesting also, along our, I'm gonna go back to sexuality and spirituality, but along our path, you'll realize also it's good to manifest during certain seasons, certain moon cycles. So I don't want to make this video longer than it has to be, but yeah. But we're resonating with the frequency of Earth. If Earth is blossoming, that's when we're supposed to be planting the seeds to help grow to where we want to achieve to be, or achieve to have. So, Matrix is a warp of the mind. Matrix is the trick of mind. The trick of the mind of people. It's made and built off of the principles of another man's concept of what reality is. Okay? Declutter, debunk your mind from all these things. And gain your sense of self. Gain clarity of your own sense of being. Okay? And you'll also align with your own soul's purpose. What your higher self has in store for you is not what another person's higher self has in store. We're all meant to be different. We are all different, but we are all supposed to be conscious. Now, I'm not gonna say all supposed to be conscious, but consciously build your reality. Okay, change your reality for your own greater good, or for the better good of all, right? Because we are, at the end of the day, we are in unison. It's one unity consciousness. For instance, if you don't create from your thoughts, those thoughts will transfer to another person, and they'll have the opportunity to choose on whether or not they want to build off of those thoughts, such as, oh, I'm gonna become a nurse, sometimes the things that we think and we don't expand on, they flutter away, they transfer to another conscious, okay? Now, like I said, along our spiritual journey, or along our soul's journey, we'll understand that there is really no such thing as time. Time has no relevance. Gender has no relevance. Holidays have no relevance. All the things that are built off of another human, or from the mind of another human, has no relevance. Because we are also in this human body, but we also have our own sense of purpose. And your purpose may not be my purpose. My purpose is your purpose. So, sexuality, let's talk about it. A lot of people don't like to, when it comes to spiritual, spiritual topics, people don't like to talk about sexuality because it's very touchy. So, Earth is natural. Earth has no concept of what gender and humanity, human kindness. Now, Earth only responds to the human frequency, the response to our frequencies. We respond to the frequency of Earth. It is what do you call it? What's the word? Magnifying. Okay, it is only, we are reflections of what is going through Earth, and Earth also reflects to us what is going on within us. It's like we are, I guess you could say we are telepathically communicating with the frequency, well, through frequency. Okay? Spirituality and sexuality, right? Let's go back to Earth. There are mammals. We with one another, same gender, whatever you want to call it. There are trees. You have trees, you have everything. Everything has an energy. However, that energy isn't girl or boy. Sometimes it's more masculine, sometimes it's more feminine, but we must find that equilibrium where we can balance out those energies. But along our journey, I think to the point where we are studying deities, gods, you'll realize God has no gender. Universe has no gender. It has no relevance. And people are debating whether or not God is man or God is woman. I will say this. Woman is more closer to God. because we have all the things that we need to create. We all have the things that we need to rebirth, renewal, recharge. This is Earth. Earth does this organically, naturally, without any interruption. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what humans do in this sense. Earth is going to be Earth regardless of human interaction. It's going to continue to go through its 4 seasons. 13 holidays. 13 holidays is constructed. I'm not gonna not 13 holidays, 13 months, yeah. But they do fit in with the 4 seasons. God, universe, has no soul or no soul gender. It doesn't have this one gender. In order to get to that point of knowing, when you start working with spirit, working with God, the gods and the deities also, I want to point that out. They're all within us. We just tap in tune with the frequency of the gods and the spirits. This is how we become one. Okay, one consciousness, one in unison with our own sense of being. So all the gods, all the spirits, they have a counterpart. There's a female counterpart and a male counterpart when it comes to spirits. Better yet, let me take it a step back. When you are gaining clarity of you, when you are gaining clarity of your sense of self or your soul, you'll realize that in our autonomy, so you have 7 chakras, right? Let's just speak to 7 chakras right now, but there are more. You have the heart. This is the center. It brings the top chakras and the lower chakras together, but the bottom chakras are more female centered. The top chakras are more masculine. So for instance, you have the root chakra, sacral, and solar plexus. Why do I say this is the feet? Because we create from here. We create from our sacral. Sacral has to do with sexual energy. You need that sexual energy to create your world. When you balance your root chakra has to deal with safety, our sense of safety, food, monetary gain. That's the root chakra. We balance that. Sacral chakra, we balance the sacral chakra along with the solar plexus and the root chakra. The solar plexus has to deal with our confidence. But these things are in alignment. And then the heart chakra centers those bottom 3 chakras. And then once we balance and align the bottom 3 chakras, and then we get to the heart center, you have the throat. We get to the throat chakra is our speaking. So what we were creating and manifesting, what we were planting the seeds, this is us planting the seeds down here. Okay? Think about what you want. Think about what you want to see in your own realm, in your own world. Forget the matrix. This is you creating your own matrix. trick your mind. Get to the heart. Fill your heart with all the things that you want to possess in your world. Get to the throat and speak those things into existence. Vision, then you get to the third eye and vision yourself having those things. So now that we're speaking and we're centered with our heart, with all the things that we want to see, we get to the throat, and then the third eye. We now not only gain clarity of ourselves, we gain clarity about the things that we want, and then we visualize. Okay, not imagine. Yes, we can use our imagination. So, image, you have imagination and visualization. Let me take it back. How are the top 3 chakras in the bottom 3 chakras, female and male? Whatever. Oh, and then you get to the crown chakra. Crown, third eye, throat. We speak, we visualize, and we gain clarity. How is this masculine? Our Father, who art in heaven. Let me break it down. I know this is not about being, I'm not trying to be religious, all right? Our Father who art create. We bring our heaven down into the physical. So our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom done, thy kingdom come, thy will be thy will. Your will is your solar plexus, that confidence, that sense of, oh, I'm gonna take action. But it aligns with these 3. So matters of the heart. Your heart is the center. It is the, what do you call it? It's the androgynous. I like to think of it as being androgynous because matters of the heart has no gender. This is masculine because we take action. These are actions that we take. For instance, speaking is an action. Seeing, visualizing is an action. Clarifying is an action. It's taking action. Solar is a confidence. Confidence was sacral, sexual, pleasure. All right? Food, sense of security. I know when people think about providing, no female provide, okay? In nature, the female lioness provide for their young. In nature, the female dolphins provide. Every female species provides. Root chakra deals with safety, protection, guards. That is female. This is all female reproductive system. This is a part of the female reproduction. All right? Has to deal with reproducing. This is the physical. Physical. It's masculine. masculine energy. Masculine, but we bring it down into the physical realm. And we place action towards it. But masculine energy is more, right. I should probably sit down. But it's more about action, taking action towards those goals. The female is sending signals to the masculine, and this is what we want to see. You need to make this happen. You know, I want I want $100 million. Give me $100 million. They take action. They go find jobs. They go get this, get that. Masculine energy. I'm not saying man. I'm saying masculine energy. The female can be a part of a female can be masculine. I'm not saying man. Hear me? Hear the words that I'm choosing, please. I'm saying masculine. Feminine. And when you're working with spirits, like I said, it's a female and a male counterpart. Let's say Shakti and Shiva, right? Shiva is the masculine to Shakti's feminine. Okay? So Shiva Shakti. Okay? Shiva. When you come to the realization that we all have masculine and feminine energy. We all have masculine and feminine energy. We all have feminine and masculine energy. Feminine and masculine qualities to our character. More than the character, but to our soul. There may be people, there are a lot of people that have midlife crisis when it comes to sexual orientation. I mean, I'm not really that girl. I'm not really that masculine either. But it's like some days I'll be masculine, some days I want to be feminine. Some days I want to be in between. That is, when you have that, you are more aligned with your soul. Because the soul doesn't identify with a gender or, part of the matrix, names. We're given names. With names aligned with the frequency. It's a spiritual side to it. Gender, in a way, has a spiritual side to it. Okay? Look at everything from a spiritual point of view. Time has no relevance. Gender has no relevance. It only has as much relevance as you give it. When we are, if we can just open our eyes to the brighter, broader view. not only will we expand our knowledge and wisdom, but we can expand how we see the world and how we see ourselves. Stop looking at yourself as this small entity and look at yourself like, wow, everything revolves around you. Not in an egotistical way, not in a cocky way, but everything does revolve around you. When we are tapping into such frequencies and spirits and whatever Savior, you realize everything, when you are pushed, when you are resonating with a certain frequency, you'll notice that there will start to be things that align. Everything has a divine order. Everything is in divine order. It doesn't matter what a person does. Nobody has an effect on your life but you. Okay? Just know that.